I wish I had learned this sooner, but the more I reflect on them, the better my life gets, and your can too. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long if you know how to use it. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. As is a tell, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. While we are postponing, life speeds by. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. We are always complaining that our days are few and acting as though there would be no end to them. Every night before going to sleep, we must ask ourselves, what weakness did I overcome today? What virtue did I acquire? Sometimes, even to live is an act of courage. He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive. The part of life we really live is small, for all the rest of existence is not life, but merely time. The mind that is anxious about the future is miserable. The wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he is not. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Ignorance is the cause of fear. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. If a man knows not which port he sails, no wind is favorable. We learn not in school, but in life. No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. It does not matter what you bear, but how you bear it. He who has great power should use it lightly. If you wish to be loved, love. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Hang on to your youthful enthusiasms. You'll be able to use them better when you're older. It is a rough road that leads to the heights of greatness. The bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. He who is brave is free. Wealth is the slave of the wise man and the master of the fool. Riches are slaves of the wise, the master of a fool. The poor lack much, the greedy everything. You should live in such a way that there is nothing which you could not, as it were, tell your enemy. He who seeks wisdom is a wise man. He who thinks he has found it is mad. A happy life is one which is in accordance with its own nature. Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. It is a great thing to know the season for speech and the season for silence. Expecting is the greatest impediment to living. In anticipation of tomorrow, it loses today. What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. Death is the wish of some, the relief of many, and the end of all. It is foolish to be unhappy about things you cannot control. The sun also shines on the wicked. Time discovers truth. No man was ever wise by chance. What fortune has made yours is not your own. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. Do everything as if it were the last thing you were doing in your life. He who has learned to die has unlearned slavery. We must indulge the mind, and from time to time allow it the leisure which is its food and strength. A kingdom founded on injustice never lasts. The day which we fear as our last is but the birthday of eternity. Wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. What really ruins our character is the fact that none of us looks back over his life. If you live in harmony with nature, you will never be poor. If you live according to what others think, you will never be rich. Every man prefers belief to the exercise of judgment. He who boasts of his ancestry praises the deeds of another. If we let things terrify us, life will not be worth living. You are your choices. No one can build you the bridge on which you, and only you, must cross the river of life. To wish to be well is a part of becoming well. To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. Let all your efforts be directed to something. Let it keep that end in view. No one can enjoy leisure unless he has been busy. A man is as unhappy as he has convinced himself he is. Do not stumble over something behind you. He who is everywhere is nowhere. We cease to be so angry once we cease to be so hopeful. Prosperity is not without many fears and distastes, adversity not without comforts and hopes. Consider, when you are enraged at anyone, what you would probably think if he should die during the dispute. One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood. Shall I tell you what I find to be a marvel? That nothing is a marvel. A man's as miserable as he thinks he is. No one can lead a happy life if he thinks only of himself. He is most powerful who has power over himself. If you want a great soul, you must first deny yourself comfort. The higher we are placed, the more humbly we should walk. The great thing is to know when to speak and when to keep quiet. Success is not greedy, as people think, but insignificant. That is why it satisfies nobody. For greed, all of nature is too little. He that does good to another does good also to himself. It is quality rather than quantity that matters. To reduce your worry, reduce your wants. Enjoy present pleasures in such a way as not to injure future ones. Wealth is the product of labor. Riches do not exhilarate us so much with their possession as they torment us with their loss. He who does not prevent a crime when he can encourages it. Let us say what we feel and feel what we say. Let speech harmonize with life. Man is affected not by events, but by the view he takes of them. You should pray for a sound mind in a sound body. The less we deserve good fortune, the more we hope for it. No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity. Nothing to my way of thinking is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company. A great step toward independence is a good humored stomach, one that is willing to endure rough treatment. Remember, however, before all else, that if you should become involved in some trouble, the blame must be laid on yourself. What difference does it make how much you have? What you do not have amounts to much more. If these lessons spoke to you, comment which one is your favorite. There's even more wisdom waiting. Click on this video and keep growing. Your future self will thank you.